Well, hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It's Thursday, December 19th, 2024. This is an update for the All Hazards Consortium Sensitive Information Sharing Environment, where we share information across platforms from the private sector owners and operators to private sector liaisons within state emergency operations centers. We've been off the last several days, actually out traveling, and we did have a chance, Dr. Ellen Prager and I, to travel to Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'd like to just thank CBS17 there, especially the fun Trent Gilsbreath, the host of My Carolina. We were able to get the ball rolling and talk about our new book, Megalodons Mermaids and Climate Change, Answers to Your Ocean and Atmospheric Questions. If you have an interest in learning about some wacky and frequently asked questions about the weather and also the oceans, pick up a copy of that book. It's really a fun read. Also, the chief meteorologist, Wes Hohenstein for CBS17, got that ball rolling after we presented at the AMS Broadcasters Conference back in June in Myrtle Beach. So thanks for that. So this update's really going to take a look at an initial Christmas update. I had a few emails, folks that watch the YouTube channel asking what my thoughts were for Christmas Day and some of the travel. So this update, I'll take a look at that. And also, I have a couple of other cool things to show you as well. I love satellites. We work a lot with NASA and NOAA, so thought I would show you some neat things. But first, let's get to my favorite satellite source, and we see it right here. And that is the GOES satellite imagery and also the JPSS polar orbiting imagery. When we have neat things to show you, we'll show you that polar orbiting data as well. Let's take a look at this full screen way out in the Atlantic. Not really a whole lot happening. I'll move it over here to the east. As a matter of fact, look at way over on the horizon. Gosh, it's not even noontime here on the East Coast, and we can already see that Terminator line coming around the horizon over parts of Africa. And if you notice up here around the Arctic Circle, North Pole, they don't really get too much sunshine right now. And at the North Pole exactly, no sunlight at all for at least through until January. And so you can see what's going on here. This is the sunrise coming across the country. And we have this big ocean storm circulating here that's producing actually waves up to 20 feet out there. And we also have some interesting things going on the East Coast. I'll zoom in here a little bit and show you what's going on because down here off the South Carolina coast, we're going to be seeing some low pressure developing here. And then that low will eventually, tomorrow, start to move on up the coast, but out. So it won't really be any much of a hindrance to travel plans or anything like that up the East Coast. Now, if it were one that moved more directly over Cape Hatteras and up the coast here, then we would be concerned, happily concerned perhaps for the chance of snow Christmas week. That's always something that the kids look forward to. Maybe not the parents so much. But this is what's happening today. A lot of low-level clouds happening over Pennsylvania, New York, and West Virginia, and also into eastern Kentucky. Some showers moving in there. Notice these clouds. These are low-level clouds that are moving down to the south. This is the initial indication of a low-pressure system that wants to develop here off the South Carolina coast. See that low-level clouds moving south. Meanwhile, these clouds are moving to the northeast. So we're going to start to get some circulation wrapping up here in the next 24 hours or so. Meanwhile, low clouds over southern Mississippi and Alabama, here Mobile, cloudy skies. And then that's starting to dissipate as drier air moves in. Here's something I want to show you that's pretty cool. I'm going to go over here to the mountains of, look at this, New Mexico. Look at these mountains here, kicking off cirrus clouds and mountain wave clouds. And look, here's the subtropical jet stream here coming over. But look, right here, you can see more cirrus clouds developing because they're wave clouds. And you can see them coming off and really impacting Oklahoma with just some high-level clouds. It's always neat to see those cirrus clouds moving. If we move out to the Pacific Northwest, you can see here's California. Sun still has to rise here. in Seattle and Washington and Portland. It's getting brighter though. It's looking good there. But there are some storms lined up in the Pacific Ocean, and I did want to show you that as well. Let's go over to the GOES West satellite, and I'll show you that. You can see here's that terminator line coming around. It's more terminating the darkness and introducing the light. Thank goodness. We all like that. But you can see a series of storms that are getting ready. This one is spinning in the Gulf of Alaska, and then another storm that's developing south of that. It's going to bring rain and showers to the Pacific Northwest. There are some very weak atmospheric rivers that will come from these systems. Look at that. Here's System 1, here's System 2, here's System 3, and System 4 out here on the horizon out towards Japan. Here's Hawaii. Lots of clear skies in Hawaii. They're enjoying some beautiful weather out there right now. But this is look at this, rain and showers here when that passes through, sunshine, and then more rain, and then some more clearing skies. This one has a little bit more colder air behind it. You can see these stable cold air clouds that are being wrapped around this low pressure system that's going to be heading up once again towards the Gulf of Alaska. It doesn't look like any real serious atmospheric rivers. There are a chance of some very weak ones. I'm not going to show the model data there just so I can get through the things that I want to talk about. And related to the satellite imagery, this is one of the neat things I want to show you. I want to show you NASA has a satellite. It's called the DSCOVR satellite, and it's orbiting at 1 million miles away from the Earth. 1 million miles. This satellite image here, the GOES satellite imagery, 22,300 miles up in space. That's how far it is. 22,300 miles. So whenever the moon gets in line with the GOES satellite, no big deal. That satellite does not see the moon because it's orbiting too close to the Earth. But if we go to what's called the Lagrangian distance from the Earth, that's 1 million miles away. I want to show you this. This is a satellite image yesterday from 1 million miles away from Earth. And you can see, read the numbers there, close to in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. You can see the distance to the Earth from this satellite. From the DSCOVR satellite. Right now it's 877,000 miles. That's what it was yesterday. The distance to the sun from this satellite, 90,581,000 miles. And then the distance from the sun to the Earth. Remember, in winter, the Earth is actually closer to the sun. Well, why is it colder in the northern hemisphere? Because the Earth is tilted away and it gets less direct sunlight. So the distance here from the sun to the Earth, 91,449,000 miles and 501 miles. So 91,449,501 miles. That's how far the Earth is from the sun. And so I want to put this into motion here a little bit and click through this so we can see a series of images. Look at this. Look at that big circulation right here off the coast of Australia. Remember, low pressure systems spin clockwise in the southern hemisphere, counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. So that's a big storm there, kicking up a lot of waves off of Australia. And then we'll bring the Earth around. This satellite takes images of the Earth just about periodically. It's not like every minute or every 10 minutes. So we can see the Earth rotating. And the other cool thing about this satellite, DSCOVR, is it's always looking at the sunny side of the Earth, not the darkness. So you won't see the sunrise, sunset like you do in the GOES imagery. This is always looking at the sunny side of the Earth. So we can see, look at all this. Here's the Indian Ocean up here. Here's Africa over here. And look at this. In the southern Indian Ocean, a very vast void area, but clouds and ocean. That's what they have there. And look, this is Antarctica. Down here, the coastline of Antarctica, all ice. Antarctica is in all sunshine in the wintertime. And the North Pole is in darkness. So we can see that through this DSCOVR satellite. And look at that. Here's Africa. Look at all the clear skies along northern Central Africa here. And then the storm spinning off the Cape of Good Hope, a very rough area to be sailing or navigating around the tip of Africa. And so we'll come around here looking at the Atlantic Ocean, and look at that. There are some more clouds and storms. There's South America. You don't see a lot of North America here because way up north, the sun is not shining. And so this is the area that you see during the sunlit part of the winter time. And this is really quite amazing. Look at this string of clouds over the South Pacific Ocean. It's really quite amazing. So this is the DSCOVR satellite. Now, one of the neat things that I want to show you, back in 2015, and this has happened also since, but I wanted to show you this animation. This is an animation of the moon moving in front of the Earth when the DSCOVR satellite was looking at the Earth, taking imagery. Look at that. This is a view you really don't see very often. This is the dark side of the moon. And so how does this happen? Well, I mean, NASA has a lot of satellites out there that are doing research and transitioning that research into operations. Well, I'm going to back out here from all those satellites orbiting. And look, there's the moon. That's how far the moon is from the Earth. But look, in that circle there, that orbit is the moon's orbit. But look to the left, that L1. That's called Lagrangian 1, or an area where satellites can orbit the Earth with very little resistance. Gravitational pull from the Earth and the gravitational pull from the sun cancel each other out at that L1 orbit. So that means we can have satellites out there that don't need a whole lot of fuel to maintain their orbit because the resistance, the gravitational pull from the Earth and the sun basically cancel each other out. So check this out. As we change the orbit and we change the perspective and we look down that L1 orbit, we look down that path looking right at the Earth, the moon sometimes moves directly in front of that path. So what we're going to do is going to get close to the moon. I'm going to freeze it right about here, and then we'll show you that DSCOVR satellite observation of the moon again, moving across. Now you can see the moon's orbit is between that L1 satellite, DSCOVR, and also the Earth. So we can watch the moon pass through. That is the dark side of the moon. Pink Floyd would be happy. Now, one more time through this, look at that area just off of Mexico, that bright white cloud. That is Hurricane Dolores. Back in 2015, was a Category 4 hurricane, 140 mile per hour winds. Just really spectacular. It's just really amazing. So now we're back to the GOES satellite, 22,300 miles above the Earth. We won't see the moon, thank goodness, pass between this satellite and also the Earth, but we can monitor all these weather systems moving in. So what do I want to show you first? I'm going to show you some of the model data as we talk about the upcoming Christmas. And I want to show you what it looks like from the standpoint of that. But, I know what I wanted to do first. I wanted to show you the temperatures and where it's snowing right now. So we're going over here. I've got a couple of different data sets displayed here. Right now, this is where it's snowing throughout Minnesota and also Wisconsin. And you can see it through eastern North Dakota. Most of Minnesota here is getting very light, fluffy, powdery snow. But some areas could see, western Iowa and this area, could see several inches of snow, very powdery snow happening there. These are not temperatures, but these are the temperature changes over the last 24 hours. So you can see the air is getting colder here, more saturated with snow. But look at the warm up happening in eastern North Dakota and also northern Minnesota. It's still cold enough to snow, but it's 11 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. and even throughout Iowa. And look at these temperatures throughout the Midwest. Almost 30 degrees warmer in parts of Nebraska than it was yesterday. So we're trending towards a warmer Christmas week than a colder one, although we will have temperatures that will get cold in the mid-Atlantic states for Christmas. And look at these over here. These temperatures across Tennessee and Kentucky. These temperatures are, look at this, 23 degrees colder today than it was yesterday near Atlanta, and up into eastern Tennessee, 25 degrees colder. And so this cold air, you can see, is settling down in here, and that's why they have those low clouds and fog over the moist, warmer ground there, creating some low-level fog. And then that cold air is going to be headed to the east, particularly on Sunday. I'll show you that. And here's some lake effect snows that are happening east of Lake Ontario and also east of Lake Erie. So Erie, Pennsylvania, no question, you're going to have a white Christmas. Congratulations, you'll have that. Now, what I want to show you now is some of the model forecast data, because it is going to get colder, and this is what it looks like. Early on the 23rd, that's Monday. These are the high temperatures on Monday, December 23rd, so still above freezing in the mid-Atlantic, even up into the upper Midwest. Not really cold until you get into northwestern, western Minnesota, northern North Dakota, where it's going to be very, very cold. Temperatures stay very mild in Florida in the upcoming week. Now let's push this towards Christmas Eve here and then Christmas Day. Let's look at high temperatures for Christmas Day, December 25th. So it doesn't look that cold around the nation. Look at this. It's going to be in the 80s, 70 to 80 degrees across all of Florida during Christmas Day. Very mild and warm across the Gulf Coast and into Texas, South Texas. It's going to be gorgeous. Temperatures there in around 70 degrees. And then really only very cold in the higher elevations of the Rocky Mountains. And even along the Sierra Nevada up into Canada, the cold air will basically be locked up there. Although on the eastern edge of the lakes in New York and parts of New England, temperatures will be cold, but not brutally cold. We don't have any big Arctic air outbreak coming. Now, what I want to show you is the departure from normal for the high temperatures on Christmas Day. Take a look at how much of the country is red, even in southern Canada. Temperatures well above average expected for most of the country. The cooler temperatures, cooler than average, just here in parts of western California. Also the Sierra Nevada range, but look at this. The nation dominated by very warm temperatures. Cold in western New York because of the snow cover on the ground there, and colder than average, I should say. So temperatures could still be below freezing, but look how much warmer it is going to be above average. And we're talking anywhere from 8 to 12 to 15 degrees above average. So again, could still be below freezing, just very mild as far as average temperatures go. So now what I'd like to show you is the precipitation and where the precipitation is going to be during the upcoming weekend and into the week. This is about right now. This is that low pressure system in southwestern Minnesota creating that area of snow. We showed you that where it was snowing and accumulating in the previous map. But now I'm going to put this into motion here into Friday. And you see the snow moving over across the Great Lakes into northern Pennsylvania. Nothing really heavy. No, not heavy snow. It's going to be kind of a fluffy snow there. Maybe some ice accumulation mixed in with some of this in the form of sleet. Could be some sleet. And then the green is rain. And remember that low pressure system I showed you that was starting to form. We could see the winds starting to circulate in the satellite imagery. That's this low pressure system here forming off of the North Carolina coastline, off of Norfolk, Virginia, creating some clouds and perhaps rain along the extreme eastern shore of Maryland and southeastern Virginia. That is during the day tomorrow. And then that system scoots on up and becomes a pretty strong low pressure system. You can see that here, and still some lingering showers across Norfolk and the eastern shore. So we'll see some clouds around. Doesn't look like anything really steady in the form of rain, but a chance of rain showers places, say, from Annapolis eastward in Maryland and the southeastern part of New York. And then some snow showers happening throughout New York, and some snow showers associated with the upper level low happening over West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, extreme southwestern Virginia. But then look at this. This really picks up into quite a strong low pressure system off the coast of Maine. But it's just far enough off. It's not going to be a big snow producer except in very eastern Maine. Look at this. Mainly in Canada, Nova Scotia, we'll see some big snows happening up there. So it looks like you'll have a very nice white Christmas. There will be some sleet and perhaps freezing rain mixed in with that on the eastern parts of Nova Scotia. Big high pressure system is going to build in, and look what happens. The nation really throughout the 22nd, that's Sunday, and then on into Monday, very much precipitation free. So I don't expect many travel delays because of weather. We do have low pressure up here, so perhaps in the UP of Michigan and the northern parts there in northeastern Minnesota, perhaps some issues. In the Pacific Northwest, we do have some showers that are going to be moving in and some steady rain in Seattle. That may cause some delays with some low clouds or so, and the snow being really confined to the upper elevations, higher elevations there. And then as we move into Christmas Eve, this is the morning of Christmas Eve, we have quite a bit of rain moving into Northern California. Could be heavy at times. This is one of the atmospheric rivers that will have kind of a minor impact because it'll be moving pretty quickly, but it could cause some localized flooding with this heavy shower activity, heavy rain activity. But across the nation, this is just a kind of a weak frontal system kicking off some showers and some light snow showers throughout Maine. So this is where you might see some snow showers on Christmas Eve. That is throughout Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, parts of Massachusetts and New York, maybe a little bit of Connecticut too, and parts of Pennsylvania. I call this conversational snow, not really anything that's going to obstruct any travel or be any real big problems. You know how to deal with that. That front moves through, and then look at this. This is Christmas morning, so we might have rain and showers along the Gulf Coast on Christmas morning throughout Louisiana, maybe some heavy showers along the immediate coastline. And then this frontal system comes through, and it will clear everybody out in New England. There's some residual snow showers there on Christmas morning, but then looks pretty nice through the rest of the country. Some nice mountain snows to add to the effect there and to give everybody a nice Christmas. But this is Christmas afternoon right here, and that's what I want to show you. I want to show you where is the snow going to be accumulating on Christmas. This is Christmas morning. So now we're talking about New England, the lee of the lakes here, perhaps some accumulating snow, not really big, but in the Intermountain West, mountains of Montana, also Idaho and Colorado, some mountain snows there, and along the Sierra Nevada. This is valid. It's basically a 24-hour accumulated snow forecast for Christmas Day. So this includes Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And so one thing else I want to show you is, what about snow falling leading up to Christmas Day? Well, this is the area that will experience likely a white Christmas. Temperatures will be mild, so some of these areas on the border here where snow is light and going to be accumulating very lightly, that may melt away. But this looks like a pretty reasonable depiction of where white Christmas will be experienced, with snow on the ground, certainly in the lees of the lakes, Ontario and Erie, where you've been getting so much snow there, and on into central New York. Eastern Maine, look at that. Remember I mentioned the snow falling in eastern Maine? Looks like some nice white Christmas happening there. But once you get south of the Mason-Dixon line in Pennsylvania, nothing really down throughout the southeast, which is not surprising. And some of the higher elevations in western Maryland, West Virginia, southwestern Virginia, could see some snow on the ground there. But then look at that cutoff. It's going to be very mild in the Midwest and even parts of southeastern Montana. No snow there, and then in the Rocky Mountains and the Sierra Nevada. And I want to just wish you and your family a very blessed holiday season. Hope you find some joy. I know those of you that are recovering from hurricanes Helene and Milton are really having a tough time of it. And we're looking right in this area here in western North Carolina. That is a very tough area, but I know you're strong, you've been rebuilding, and hopefully 2025 will be a much better year. We're going to be watching for all these extreme events, and that's when we'll be doing these video updates, when we see extreme events that may impact the transportation, food, fuel, medical supply areas. We want to keep the economy moving across the nation. And we're also looking at perhaps doing updates on wildfires and things like that. So we do have an exciting 2025 in store. Wish you and yours very happy holidays. Thank you for watching this update. We'll be back when conditions are needed. And we really appreciate you watching these updates. Take care. Please watch out for yourself and watch out for your neighbors. They sure do appreciate it. Take care.